Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show, episode 175. We're going to go, hopefully, mic working today. We'll see. You guys let me know if you can't hear me at all.
I can hear you. It just might be a little
Echoey. We have Daisy here with us. She is on day one of the program. So she's kind of actually just starting to come out of her shell. She worked with Josh a little bit earlier. And this is the first time I've ever met her. I've had a chance to hold her. And when she got on my lap, it was kind of fun to see how she grew from what she started at, which was very nervous, very unsure. And look at her. She wouldn't even move around. She's trying to jump off my lap at this point. Josh, you might be done with me in a second. Well, okay, come on in. There you go. Bye, Daisy. You did very well. But it's always very interesting because when she first got on my lap, I was actually, petting her, trying to kind of massage into her neck a little bit, helping her relax and build some comfort. She didn't want any of that, guys. I just eventually stopped doing it. I just existed, read my paperwork, did my own thing. And after about 5 seconds, she started nuzzling my hand a little bit. So I moved it and started kind of massaging her neck a little bit. And as I did that for a few minutes, didn't overpressure her, didn't look at her, didn't talk to her and try to love and touch her face. 5 minutes of that, she was totally open, very excited to sit on my lap. So this is for our friends who come over to our home. Our puppies are a little bit skittish, a little standoffish, and they're unsure of these new people. Ask them to sit on your couch. Tell them to ignore your puppy for 20 to 30 minutes. And when that puppy starts showing them interest, and actually it's coming up to them, that's when they can start reaching out with a hand, knuckle first, not trying to touch them, just kind of put the hand out, let them start checking it out. And if they jump up on the couch and they try to jump on their lap, just tell them to ignore the puppy and let them settle on their own. A lot of it is we're putting too much pressure on puppies to love us, to want to be cuddled by us. They will eventually. It just takes a little bit of time. And that answers the question that never was a question. Yes, you're welcome. I know. All right, this is from Sunny D. I rescued a 10-month-old puppy. How do I potty train him? He won't pee or poop on walks, just my backyard. You need a schedule. All right, and I wrote down where to find that. So you're going to find it in our free masterclass, and the link is in the bio. Am I still good for sound? Okay, it's a free masterclass. Our link is in our bio, and it kind of opens up a little skeleton for you guys to basically make your schedule. And it has Beth and I talking in the masterclass explaining what to do for that schedule. So that's how you're going to create the schedule itself. And now, how to get my dog to stop pottying in the backyard. So if you constantly let your dog out in the backyard off leash, it's probably never going to happen. They're always going to pee in the backyard and probably just handle their needs there and not in the front yard or not in the front on your walk. You actually have to take them out on leash. Every single time they're done with their crate window, and how our schedule works, it's crate portion of time, potty, free time, water, food, crate. So you're always getting a crate portion, a free time portion. Usually the free time is about half of what your crate time is as the puppies are growing and they're maturing. So what you want to do is every time your puppy comes out of that crate, they're on leash right away. There's not a second where they're not, because if they have to go bad enough, they're going to go where they're most comfortable, the backyard. Carry them outside to your front yard. Set them down on the sidewalk. Have them pause for a moment. Just put a little bit of upward, so you can't see it, upward leash pressure. Pause. Not up to where you're lifting them off the ground, just enough to kind of make them freeze a bit. And after a second or two, relax the arm. Say whatever your release word is. We use break. You use okay, free release, whatever you like. Okay, release them onto the grass. And then stand on that patch of grass for 2 to 3 minutes. And they're probably not going to go. I would put money on the fact they're not going to go. They're just going to stand there confused or sniff and eat grass. And if that's the case, bring them off the grass, start your walk. You're only going to give 3 opportunities on this entire walk for them to go potty. I do one beginning of the walk, I do one at the halfway point of the walk, and I do one at the very end of the walk, especially if I'm conditioning my dog to potty on command and not just go when they want to go on their time, like what they're doing in the backyard. And let's say you end your whole walk and they have not gone. That's okay. That's expected. Back in the crate. Your puppy's going to go back to the crate for about 15, 20 minutes. And then you have a choice. If you don't have the time to do another walk with your dog, and I'm talking probably end of the block and back, that's about it. If you only have time to go outside and spend about 2 to 3 minutes out there, then go out there, put your puppy on the grass again, tell them go potty, or just wait for them until they go potty. 2 to 3 minutes. If they don't go, back to the crate, rinse and repeat that whole thing again. If you have the time, this is better because they probably need a little bit of exercise, a little bit of movement. What happens when we walk in the morning? We gotta poop. It's the same thing for our dogs. I walk to the end of the block, give one opportunity for potty, walk all the way back. My final opportunity for potty in front of the house, I am very likely on that second or third time to get a potty from my dog. But you have to prevent access to the place that they want most. Otherwise, they're just going to wait you out until they get to go to that backyard. So day one, you might do this for 4 to 6 hours, just kind of rinse and repeating. And then you can give a little bit of free time on leash if you're really just pulling your hair out, like 20, 30 minutes out of the crate, on leash being held by you. Because the minute they're free, they're going to go find a spot to go potty, or they're just going to go to the backyard to go potty. So you got to keep them on leash, keep them next to you, and then you can do a little bit of training, a little bit of exercise, get the body moving, separate from the walk itself, and maybe you'll have a greater chance of that bowel movement or the potty as well. So give it a shot. That's a lot. Do we? Oh, I love it. All right, I like the live questions. Guys, if I answer one of your questions, I have someone reading the chat for me, and you want to do a follow-up question to my answer, throw it back in the chat. I'll get a back and forth going.
This is a 2-parter.
Oh, okay. Where's the second part? Is it up top?
Oh,
okay. This is part 1 from Paris Baker. That name's familiar. Is that one of our old students? Part 1. I have a 5-month-old male Staffy. When he plays with other dogs, he always tries to bite their ears / neck and tries to jump on them / stand on them. Is this normal puppy behavior? Part 2. Or is he trying to be dominant? He does the big, small dogs.
He does it to big and small.
Oh, he does this to big and small dogs and to females and males. Is this dominant behavior? How can I correct this? Yes, this is dominant behavior. And very likely it's not going to get corrected during play. It's actually going to get corrected outside of play during training. Your dog probably needs a few more boundaries, and maybe you've done a ton of training. Like, I can't discount that. I have at least 4 clients right now that have done Puppy Academy and done my private program outside of Puppy Academy. This is the most well-trained dogs in existence as far as I'm concerned. They're probably not, but they're probably very well-trained. They still are very dominant during play. So if you don't have the basic obedience, advanced obedience, ability to walk your dog and redirect them away from another dog on the walk that they're staring at, then they don't play with other dogs until you can do that with your dog and you can get some kind of leverage with them. Once you have that and then you start finding a play group with another dog, you actually have to find the right dog. You got to find a dog that's not dominant and pushy, because that's a fight waiting to happen. You got to find a dog that is more neutral. Not submissive, not dominant, kind of like a middle ground right in the middle. Because what you're looking for is you need to be able to have them play and then recall your dog off of play. You need a dog that can engage with him, and right when he starts getting a little bit more chest up, chest out, dominating, dog come, maybe a long leash if you got one, boom, a little bit of pressure, get them to come away from the play, and then the other dog can kind of move off to their owner as well. Or if I'm going to step into play, because I read dominant, not aggressive. So I am under the assumption, I'm going to go under the assumption for this question, that there's not bites with blood. There's not holding and tearing and ripping. So going off the dominant assumption, if you can move in between, I see my dog jumping up on my other dog's back, I'm moving in from the side, hey, back up, boom. My butt is to the camera, and it's to the really soft, neutral dog, and my front is facing my dog, my dominant dog. And as I'm facing my dominant dog, if he goes left, I'm moving in. Moving in. Honestly, I'm a snapper. I'm a clapper. I make some noise because I want my dog to know I'm there. And I need some kind of interrupter to get my dog's attention. So when I'm doing those steps, I'm usually, hey, step in, back them up. And then when you finally eventually back them up to a point where they back off, you don't have an aggressive dog, you have a dominant dog who's a little bit reactive or showing some dominance in the wrong place. But most time, if you can deactivate that dominance, you get them far enough away from the situation, you get them to focus up and away from that, most time you can grab your dog's focus and get them to settle. I'll be honest, for dominant dogs, I sometimes have them drag a leash during play. Because in that moment where I finally get them away, it's really nice to be able to just step on the leash with one foot while your dog's in front of you. So when they try to dart left, they get caught on the leash and my body is already blocking them. It gives you a ton of leverage. I don't recommend really dominant dogs playing without a leash unless they're leash aggressive, which is a whole different story. And if you just listen to the answer to that question, you feel extremely, extremely overwhelmed, which probably a lot of you would be. I mean, heck, I think I would have been 20 years ago when I wasn't a dog trainer. Hire a dog trainer. You want a balanced dog trainer who does use some kind of training tool or has knowledge with play groups and different pack mentality animals. So that would be my big focus on that one. Sorry, that was a really long answer. I really enjoyed that one. Bethany is going to be so jealous she didn't get that one.
We have more coming in too, whenever you want.
Let me go one more here. I'm going to go back and forth, guys. I'll do one of the send-ins, one of the online questions. This is a good one because it's an easy one. What's a good treat to give toy poodles while training? I am currently training a toy poodle right now. Well, actually, we just kind of finished. She became a DPT service animal, and she's excellent at her job. We use NutriCal. Yeah, NutriCal. Don't get the cat one. It's pure protein. That's pure diarrhea. It's the squirts. You don't want it. Get the NutriCal for dogs. Ricky's cringing. Get the NutriCal for dogs, and then get a toothpaste roller. It's like the little one that you just kind of crank. And I insert the toothpaste roller, roll it up so it's a little bit of pressure on there. I open up the cap, and I'm literally just doing work where if I'm walking and I'm teaching heel, I have food bringing it down. And the tube is about that long, which is kind of nice for some of our older people who maybe don't want to bend as much with their back, to a little toy poodle, which, by the way, guys, they weigh about 3.5, 4 pounds, like 8 pounds max, and that's probably not even a toy anymore. So they're really low to the ground. It gives you an extra little bit of spacer for you, and they're really good at following that tube because it's like doggy crack to them. So that would be my recommendation. NutriCal. I also know a lot of toy poodle owners, they have really sensitive stomachs. They can't really eat kibble as well as other dogs can. Maybe it's the way that they process food. Like when you do your own dog food, like you make it, I know a lot of people who use their dog food, like the one that they make themselves or they buy from a company that does fresh food, they use that as their motivating factor for training. So it's still using their meal, not just using treats. This dog did a little bit of both. When the dog reached about 6 months old, we moved away from NutriCal and went just to her food, which is more sustainable because as they hit about 6 months old, they just start gaining weight. They don't get taller. They don't need as much calories. So that's why I usually move away from NutriCal. Hopefully that helps. I'm going to do one more. That was supposed to be a short question. Sarah Sweet Celebrations. 11-month Australian cattle dog terrier mix. Holy smokes. So many bad words wanted to come out of my mouth when I read that. Because that is a combo. How would you recommend distancing from them during the day to help with separation anxiety while also fulfilling their needs so he's not destructive? He is fairly good when he is home and has started being content in separate rooms, though we'll make sure he can see me across the house. But if we're anywhere else and he can't, I'll stop. I don't even need to read another second. You need a schedule. You need a crate schedule. This room business is going to get you a $30,000 construction bill. Now, I promise I won't tell stories. God, I want to tell a story so bad. I had a friend who had a German Shepherd Malamute mix, and he left his dog inside the bathroom, and the dog went through the foundation of his house and went out the side. It cost him $35,000 to repair. Dogs can go through drywall very quickly, easily. They can chew through plywood boards. Like, they can go through anything, really. So I would not recommend doing the room. We have given that advice before, but not for a dog with a similar issue. Severe separation anxiety, it needs a crate. And this is going to be a strong dog, guys. You're probably going to need impact crate. You might be able to get away with a, what's the other end? Timberland crates. The Timberland collars or Timberland crates. I think they might have both products on either one of the websites. But you're looking for either Timberland products for your crate or you're looking for impact crate. Impact crate are literally steel reinforced plates in 4 directions with little holes. It looks like a prison cell, but it's for dogs that quite literally can break out of anything. No dog can break out of an impact crate. You probably need that to start because if you get a crate that they can break out of, they're going to remember that moment of breaking out of it. And every moment past that moment is them trying to break out of the crate. They can never settle. I'm saying never, but they will eventually work through it. But they can't break out of crates for a portion of time. We have to train them around that crate, in the crate, getting acclimated to the crate, training before the crate, training after the crate, physical exercise, 10 to 15 minutes of fetch with maybe a 1 minute pause between each one. Make sure the dog is fully settled in a down stay, able to drop the ball, able to calm and settle their body language until eventually we can take the ball and throw it again. Like, these are the things I think about. So How much exercise would that dog actually need? Bethany would be better to give you this answer because she has had many cattle dogs growing up, and she's farm girl, so she had cattle dogs legitimately, and they were working dogs. I would say every free time window I'm getting, I probably need to do about 3 30-minute walks a day, and these are not walks where my dog is doing this, pulling in front of me the whole time. It's not going to be what they need. You need walks to where your dog is trying to go ahead and we're redirecting in the other direction using food. If my dog can't do that because they're too overstimulated, I'm working in my driveway, my backyard, my front yard, the walkway along the side of my apartment building. You all have one. Don't say you don't. So there's always somewhere you can work your dog under threshold. Threshold is the little door in their brain that tells them, we're overstimulated. When you work them under, that door is still closed and they're not overstimulated. This is the way that you start teaching your dog how to respond to you with very minimal distractions. As they get better at it, as they start following food more, you can start going closer to those distractions. You hit your threshold, that door is wide open, they're no longer caring about us or paying attention to us. Close the door, go back a bit, go under threshold, try to work your dog again. But let me just reread this, make sure I'm not getting off on a tangent. We all know I never do that. Yeah, you need to get it probably into a training program for that breed of dog. They need quite a bit of exercise, quite a bit of mental stimulation. 3 walks a day, 30 minutes each one. Lots of mental exercise during those walks. And if you can't take the walk outside, it's totally fine to do it inside your home. Just going up and down a hallway. Teach them how to follow food, add sit, add down, add stay. And check out our online program. 11 months. You're kind of right near the end of what our online program can help you with. But it's the structure and it's the routines that you need. It's not so much the advice from us necessarily, except for like little check-ins. But online program would help you a bit. And again, free masterclass, link in bio. That's where you're going to find our crate skills, just so you can get them on one too. All right, boom. We got anything over here? All right, this is from Pam Castillos. Hi, I got 2 Labrador puppies, currently 17 weeks at the same time. Okay. One of them is really good on the crate. The other is really bad in the crate. Barks incessantly. I've tried everything. Please help. Every dog is a little bit different. So I usually find that the dog that does better in the crate, for labs specifically, when I get 2 of them, is, I don't know why, but there always tends to be one lazier lab and one energetic crazy lab. I did service animal training for labs strictly for almost 7 or 8 years, so I'm very familiar with puppy labs, adult labs, every age of lab, every breed of lab you can imagine. So I'm going to assume one of those labs is the lazier one of the labs is the more motivated one. If your more motivated one is in the crate doing the barking, they probably need more mental stimulation. Mental, not physical. That doesn't translate to throwing the ball, because throwing the ball for a lab is just neurotic, crazy energy. Unless I get them to come back, drop the ball, sit and down while I pick it up, they don't stand up, I can bring it to my chest or behind my back or let it just sit on my side, and they're just giving me a calm eye contact look with a relaxed bum. Maybe not a relaxed bum, but maybe just with a calm body at least. If I'm not getting that, then you're not actually working on the mental end of fetch and drop. You're only working on the physical end of building drive. The more drive you build, drive is, that's Usain Bolt, fastest man in the world, running. That's drive. That is endurance, that is drive. Your dog is trying to become the fastest dog in the world when he's playing fetch, because he's building strength, he's building endurance. So it's not about building endurance, it's more about helping them understand how to settle between repetitions. They're getting the run-in, which is using the physical energy, but even at its lowest, it replenishes in like 20, 30 minutes. Dogs are working animals. They're meant to chase the cattle for 25 minutes, lay down on the back of the tractor, go to the next pasture, and start chasing the cattle again. Okay, maybe not the lab, but at least diving for pearls under the bay. So these dogs are working animals. You're never going to exhaust them physically. It's all about up here. The more training you do in combination with physically walking them and physically playing with them, fetch, drop, tug, drop, that is how you're going to tire out your lab. And then now getting them to the crate, they're going to be a bit more calm. Now associate the crate with less negativity. If they go into the crate, we close it, lock it, cover it, walk away, and you're getting a lot of barking. I want to think about that association. Do they associate the crate with anything positive? Are they happy to run in there and sit down and wait for their little treat that they get? Or am I having to leash them up, practically lift up their belly in and steer them like they're a cow going into pasture? If I'm doing all that, then that probably means they don't enjoy the crate that much. So when I bring my dog out of the crate, I'm going to get them out for a potty, because obviously that's important, especially if they're younger. Did I have an age for these guys? Did I have an age?
17 weeks.
17 weeks, yeah, so they're babies. So you probably would have to get them out of the crate, lickety-split right away just to get them that potty. But now, come back inside your crate room. Put them back inside the crate. Close the door and lock it. Put the leash on them. Open the door, pause. Let them come out for break. Put them back in. Ask them for a sit or just wait for the sit, and they eventually will. Good. Give them a treat. Release them with break. Put them back in, sit, give a treat, release them with break. Our dog no crate as a punishment if they only go in there for hours. We want to create a more positive association to the crate by helping them understand that there's positive things that happen to them when they're inside the crate. So associate food, associate good things, and don't let them think that every time they go in there, they're in there for multiple hours. Because at the end of these 10 repetitions of in and out, I'm going to give the next hour of free time to my dog so they can hang out with us. That's how I'd tackle it.
And she said, yes, you're correct. She's very energetic and food motivated.
Yeah, you might inadvertently be maybe harnessing some drive that you don't necessarily want. 17 weeks, absolutely a good candidate for the online program. And you don't have to sign up for both dogs. You just have to do one program. So when you join that I think Ricky's turning in her grave right now. You're not turning in your grave because I said that, right? No, okay, good. You didn't catch that? She didn't catch it. All right.
No, they only need one program.
They do, right?
However many dogs they want.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just one program, even if you have multiple dogs. I wasn't sure if that was actually true or not. So you could benefit from that program because we'll help you guys build a schedule. We'll help you guys get you on routines. And these are the 3 routines you need. You need place pattern in place in general. That's what's going to teach your dogs how to settle eventually and how to use a lot of that big energy in a small enclosed area without having to go outside and chase the ball for 2 hours. That's going to be the biggest one. And it's going to teach your puppies how to follow you for food, how to go into follower mode in general instead of always trying to adopt a leadership mode and, rule the house. So the whole point of that is that we help them understand that when it comes down to it, they're our pets. We want to help them have a mutual relationship with us, but there has to be a balance to that. There has to be a structured schedule. They got to understand what their purpose is in our home, which is to be well-rounded, happy family dogs. Training, exercise, balanced crate time. Perfect. How much time we got? 5 minutes? I feel like I'm getting through a lot of questions. I'm going to do one over here. This is from Huffer. 8-month-old Cavapoo. Is it okay to have toys in crate or should you not have toys? 8-month-old dog is old enough, hopefully, that they wouldn't chew a toy until they swallow it. But no, I got to say no to toys in crate in general, period, the end. Mainly because it's an insurance thing for us. If I had a single trainer put a toy in the crate at this facility, they'd be fired by the end of the day. Almost guaranteed, because as such a big choking hazard, puppies in general, 8-month-old, still a puppy technically. And if you have an energetic cava, some of them are like lazy and they probably wouldn't care about it. But if it's an energetic one, no. All they got to do is get one ear off that stuffy. And if it's a blockage, they can't get it out. You're gone at work for 8 hours and come back to bad stuff. So no, don't do it. All right. This is from one of our videos. This is from Puppy Problem. 6-month-old puppy pees when out of crate. Someone asked, what if they only pee in house if they can get to shaggy rug? Do they think it's grass? Honestly, yeah, probably. We had a bath mat when my dog was like 8 months old. I know, 12 years ago. She was 8 months old, 6 months old, something like that. She kept peeing on my father's bath rug every day, same time, every morning. I was a dog trainer, guys. Like, I should know better than this, but I was learning still. So what we ended up doing is we just closed the door, prevented access to that room for a long time. But what I should have done is I would have referred to my crate schedule. And not everyone is using a crate schedule. And I know, I'm going to say it, that's okay. There are other alternatives. If I have a dog that's more relaxed, I can use my master bathroom overnight while I'm sleeping in bed and my puppy's sleeping in that master bathroom. I can use a playpen if I'm in the same room as my puppy and I don't plan on leaving the room from my puppy. The whole thing though is you got to control when and where they go in the morning. So even if that means that your dog sleeps outside of a crate on a dog bed at the foot of your bed, the foot of your bed is now the side of your bed. They're on the dog bed and I have a little leash clipped to their harness, tethered to my nightstand, and only having about that much slack so they can't walk 10 feet away and go find a spot to potty. And the minute we're waking up, we get them off the leash, we take them outside, we have them go potty in the area that we want them going. So you guys are still in control of when and where they're going potty. If you wake up in the morning and there's already an accident on the little spot by their dog bed because they really had to go, that's not them being malicious, that's not them pottying because they're frustrated. They gotta go. That's all there is to it. Check your water intake. I'm sure everyone's probably got this memorized who's been to at least 2 of my shows. It's a half cup of water for every 30 pounds of body weight, every 2 to 3 hours. I'll say it again. Half cup of water for every 30 pounds of body weight, every 2 to 3 hours. Which means that if your puppy has a bowl of water with a half cup of water in it, and they weigh 15 pounds and they're drinking a majority of it, over like 3 hours though, they're drinking too much water, they're gonna have accidents. They're filling up too much of their bladder, they don't have a large enough bladder to hold it, so they're having to go potty a lot sooner. You're not actually teaching bladder control, they're just going whenever they have to, not want to. They don't want to pee, they don't want to have an accident, they have to because they gotta go. So I would say if I'm doing that, check your water intake, cut off water 5:30, 6, maybe 7 p.m. at the latest before bed. And this is if you're getting potties in the morning and they're going to that shag rug. If they're just going to the shag rug throughout the day, get on some kind of schedule, or that puppy needs to have a leash on the harness tethered to your hip. If you're not watching that puppy, they're going wherever they want to go. That's just all there is to it. That's how puppies work. How am I doing on time? I got a couple minutes. We started a minute late too. All right. Do you have any other good questions up here?
We have one that might be similar to that resource guarding one here.
Did I already answer that one?
No.
Where is it? There we go. Okay. All right, so this is off of a video that was called How to Prevent Resource Guarding with Your Puppy. The video was about dog food. It was about like eating from the bowl, people coming near it, having guests over whose little kids like kind of walk up and like put their hands in it. That's what that video is about. But this person is inquiring, Ginny Mathion. Is that how you say it?
I don't know how to say it.
Just say yes. Makes me feel better now. Okay, she said yes. All right, so Ginny. Her question comes down to, can resource guarding be for actual items? Yes, it can, but it has to be for more specific items. So like when I think of resource guarding, I'm thinking about something that the dog views as a resource that can disappear. So it's like a limited resource that can be eliminated and it doesn't come back. So for me, yes, an item could be it, but that's gonna be too hard to explain. I actually just want to explain it this way. I find items to possibly a level of reactivity, not just resource guarding. In the sense that with dog food, that's a resource that is limited. It's a limited resource that goes away after they eat it. But with the sock, that's just something that they found. So if I go to grab that sock, it's not really a resource. That's just my dog reacting towards me. A lot of times I feel like it's frustration reactivity, which means that they have the item, and they want it. They hold some value in it. I go to take it, and because the way I'm reaching for it, in the dog world, a dog comes in to take what's theirs, they're gonna snarl and snap at them. I want everyone to rethink how they approach these situations with their dogs. Why would you reach into an animal's face to take the thing that they have slaughtered and carried and are so proud of? That's the tissue, by the way, guys. That's torn into 4 pieces, and they took the final piece. That is their slaughtered prize. They are hunters, they are dogs, they are predators, they are animals, they're primal, and now they're carrying their prize around. And if you want to take that prize, you're trying to take their trophy. Approach it differently, guys. Stop trying to take things out of a dog's mouth. That's what we have leashes for. That's what we have redirection for. If I got an easy dog that loves food, I could probably just pick up my leash, kind of move him away from the tissue a little bit just with leash pressure, grab a treat, puppy come, they drop the tissue, and then come, and I walk 10, 15 feet away, put them on place, sit down, good. Hey, hun, can you go grab that tissue that's in 4 pieces? That's my dog's prize right now. Person grabs the tissue, or I just sweeped it with my foot under something, and now I have them on place. I'm not going to reward that food yet. They're still in the mode of reactivity. Or If it is a resource guarding. You need to break them from that mode before you can give me food. I need to redirect, I need to train, I need to work, I need to move. I need to give value to myself through food and training and movement that supersedes that tissue that my dog wanted so bad. And when my dog starts giving me eye contact, stops looking for that tissue, start rewarding. You got eye contact now. That is the moment I'm looking for, is when my dog shows me more, gives me more value than the thing that they were guarding against. All right, is that it? 33? Look at us. All right, perfect, guys. Thank you for coming. Did I have any special things I got to read? Bethany usually reads them. All right, perfect, guys. And I will see you guys next week, Pacific time at 1 p.m. Or actually, I won't. I'll be at a vet appointment, but Bethany will be here.
You said you'll be back. You might be back.
I might be back. I might be back. I don't know. I'm coming from Culver City, and it's a 2-hour appointment. I probably won't be back, but we'll see. All right, guys. Bye. Oh, wait. Instagram, you guys get the awkward wave. This is like the wave that everyone's grandma does when we're leaving. Oh.